Good morning, everyone. We are the seventh presenter, and today we are going to tackle about the curriculum innovation. And so, before we start, kindly stand up. Mr. Green, kindly please. Next event, praise you, glorify you, and praise you. So that we may not be discouraged, but continue to do God's will, even though it is difficult at times. True love, so that we may love one another. Each day, let our actions begin to absorb inspirations. Before sitting down, kindly arrange the chairs and take out the trashes that you can see underneath or above your chairs. And after that, you can now all sit down. Thank you. And so, let's start our discussion. Again, our topic for today is about curriculum innovation. So, who can tell me what is the discussion that we have discussed last meeting? So, curriculum. Yes, Mr. Castro. You can tell me, let us have a short recap regarding what you have discussed last meeting in track 103 regarding the curriculum. Wala akong nakakaalala. Okay, so, since walang nakakaalala, mag-jump na lang tayo sa curriculum innovation. So, before kindly read the objectives as one at the end of the lesson, students should be able to curriculum innovation. Analyze the different types of curriculum innovations and appreciate the positive contribution of curriculum innovations in the education system. Thank you so much. So, what is curriculum innovation? So, in your own idea, in your own opinion, what do you think is curriculum innovation, Miss? Yes, Mr. Valens.
Ay pag-innovate ng curriculum para mas maging effective ito sa estudyante, mga para sa students.
Exactly. Innovation means a change in the current curriculum wherein they are trying to improve the current curriculum into a more mas innovate or mas acceptable or mas maganda para sa mga students. But what is curriculum itself? What is the definition of curriculum itself? Yes, Ms. Dinato. What is curriculum?
For me, curriculum is, ito yung mga need na objectives na need ma-meet sa isang klase.
So, according to Ms. Dinato, a curriculum is a set of objectives, and that is correct. Because in the curriculum, there are set of contents, ideas, and also objectives that needs to be met by the students. And so, according to Martin Willis, what did it say? Yes, Ms. Brenda. Please read.
Innovation may mean a new object, now idea, ideal practice, or the practice by which a new object, idea, or practice comes to be adopted by an individual or organization.
Thank you so much. So, according to Marshall Willis, in the year 2007, innovation may mean a new object or a new idea. So, let us relate it to what Mr. Balmes said earlier. So, according to him, innovation is the changes that is happening. So, ibig sabihin kapag may pagbabago, may bago. So, according to
Go.
So, according to Marshall Willis, in the year 2007, innovation may mean a new object or a new idea. So, when we innovate something, di ba minsan may dinadagdag tayo, meron din tayong pinababa. So, according na kay Mr. Valdez, curriculum
Quezon 1985, Innovation is Classification of Ends or Means, new to the adaptive educational system and intended to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of.
Thank you so much. So we know that our world is dynamic, okay? And the only thing that is inevitable in our world today is to change stuff. So sa curriculum, hindi tayo makakasabay sa pagbabago ng panahon kung hindi natin i-innovate yung ating curriculum. So according kay Henderson, ito, ang innovation daw is any change in the curriculum that is planned. So planado yung pagbabago. Hindi planado yung pagbabago sa curriculum. Kasi kung hindi pinagplanuhan, malaki yung chance na nag-innovate ka lang para sa wala. Kumbaga, imbis na ma-improve mo yung curriculum itself, ang nangyari, mas napalala mo pa yung situation. Naintindihan po ba? Nakuha? Okay. Next. Curriculum innovation is associated with curriculum change. When we say curriculum change, it is anything that is planned or any changes in the curriculum that is planned or unplanned. Curriculum innovations, therefore, are positive changes or improvements that are happening in the innovation system, particularly in the area of curriculum. Do you agree? Can I have your opinion, Ms. Barita? Do you agree that curriculum innovations are positive changes or improvements that are happening in the education system? Are there only positive innovations?
For me po, ang curriculum innovations, hindi ko siguro may instances na magiging positive to, meron din hindi. Siguro masasabi natin na positive kung maganda ang kakalabasan nito dahil mananapin nakikita naman natin ito mismo kung maayos ba yung pagbabago. Pero there are instances din na yung pagpapalit or pagbabago ay negative. Kumbaga, yung sa plan ay, kung siguro ayos yung pagpaplano, positive. Pero kung unplanned, kasi nga may instances na unplanned, siguro negative.
Exactly. That's why before doing an innovation in our curriculum or any changes in the curriculum, it must be planned thoroughly. Okay? Yung hindi basta-basta lang may masabi na may binago ka sa curriculum natin. Yes, Miss Renato, I see your instrument. I'm so sorry. Miss Roxy.
For me, yes, it is indeed that the positive changes pag sa curriculum innovation. Kasi nga, sa curriculum innovation is pinag-aralan ng maligay kung ano nga mga naging pagkakamali dun sa mga previous curriculum kaya nagkaroon ng innovations para magkaroon ng improvements which is magiging positive yung mga pagbabago na kayo i-apply sa bagong curriculum.
Okay, so what can you say about the matatag curriculum? Yes, Miss Roldan. Is it a positive change or somehow 50-50 or not so?
50-50. Kumbaga, hindi naman natin i-ano yung positive na nakikita ng government natin or ng government sa matatag curriculum. But in negative siya kasi for 45 minutes, right? 45 minutes kailangan magtulong ng isang teacher sa mga bata. Which is, hindi naman lahat ng bata ay ganun kabilis makakuha ng information or makagrab ng bago tinutulong ng kanilang mga teacher. So, kung mas madadagdagan sa atin ng kahit konti lang, merong parang siguro magiging yung gap ng oras ng pagkaan ng teacher. Kung pag dapat ay may time na magtutulong at may time na dapat ay pauhaan sa bata, kung nakuha ka talaga ng mga bata. Kaya hindi naman tayo magkakapareho ng thinking capacity.
Exactly. So, we are in a diverse community. So, hindi tayo pare-parehas. Kaya naman, may possibility na yung changes na ginawa sa pag-move or paglipat sa matatag curriculum is somehow sa iba, nakakasabay sila, pero sa iba, hindi. Kasi nga hindi sila pare-parehas. So, somehow, may positive din naman yung matatag curriculum, pero minsan hindi din. So, yes, Mr. Douglas, you can try something.
Ang curriculum ay meron ang positive at negative. Ang positive side ay meron siyang mga field subjects na pinagpapagulan talaga ng mga students sa math, science, English na pinakailangan ng mga bata sa ngayon. At ang negative side naman ay parang siya ay naging more on experience na gusto ko sa curriculum kasi nga yun, more on experience. So, aasahan natin na maraming activities. yun ay mag-result sa mga bata na mag-work out.
Okay. Exactly. And hindi lahat dito kinesthetic learners na natututo kapag sila yung gumagawa ng bagay na yun. Minsan sa atin, di ba meron tayong different types of learners? Meron tayong visual, read, kinesthetic, auditory. So, yung focus ng matatag, moral activities lang talaga itself. So, paano naman yung mga bata na hindi sila natututo kahit pagawin nila, kung hindi nila makita or hindi nila muna mapanood, kahit nagawin nila yun on their own, hindi sila matututo. So, for me then, just like kung ano yung mga sinabi ninyo, for me then, may positive and negative naman. For me, yung negative naman sa curriculum natin is yung may mga list of subjects sila na inaalis. Tapos, pagdating ng mga bata, or pagdating ng bata sa mas higher na level, hindi nila alam kung paano gawin yung pinaka-basic na bagay. Kasi nga, hindi siya napagtutuunan. Tapos, may mga inaalis siya. For example, yung dating na yung Filipino subject ay aalisin. Bakit aalisin? Diba? Hindi siya pinag-iisipan minsan. Kumbaga, ginagawa din ng nasa higher, since nagbababa lang sila, hindi sila yung nakaka-experience ng bagay na yun, baba lang sila ng baba kung ano yung gusto nilang itatupad, pero hindi naman nila alam kasi hindi nila nararanasan yung classroom setting. Diba? Okay, so next. There are four changes in educational context na pwede natin gawin sa mag-i-innovate ng curriculum. And that is according to Michael Tulan in the year 1989. Can you please read the four changes, Ms. Magpantay?
4 changes in educational context. Michael Fulan, 1. Some forms of grouping or new structure. 2. New curriculum materials. 3. Changes in some aspects of teaching practices, new activities, skills, behavior, and last, a change in belief of understanding these curriculum and learning.
Thank you so much. So, ano yung mga changes na pwedeng mangyari sa isang curriculum? Number 1 is yung structure, kung paano nagawa, or paano yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga list of subjects, or list ng mga dapat na ituro sa isang student. May possibility kasi na minsan, hindi mo na dapat yun ang ituro natin. Dapat may mas mauuna ka doon. Kaya naman, yung structure ng curriculum, kailangan nating mabago. Next is yung new curriculum materials. Merong mga teaching materials na kinakailangan natin mas i-improve pa. Halimbawa, nasa 21st century na tayo. Tapos yung mga materials na pinagagamit yun sa mga bata, traditional. Tama ba yun? Siyempre, kailangan natin i-innovate yung mga materials din na ginagamit for teaching para mas makasabal yung mga students kasi nga nagbabago ang mundo. Third is the changes in some aspects of teaching practices. Minsan, paulit-ulit na minsan yung ginagawa ng mga teacher na teaching activities, yung mga skills nila, tsaka yung mga behavioral activities na ginagawa nila, minsan paulit-ulit. Tapos kung ano yung tinutumbok o yung gustong outcome, yun at yun na lang din. So parang hindi na siya bago. Dapat mag-isip pa sila ng mas bago na mas in a way na yun yung pinakakailangan ng bata. And the last one is a change in beliefs or understanding vis-a-vis, ibig sabihin in relation to curriculum and learning. So, dito may possibility na, di ba nga sabi ko, ang mundo natin nagbabago, minsan yung mga ideas or yung mga paniniwala natin, sa pagdaan ng panahon, nababago yun. Halimbawa ngayon, hindi pa tayo pabor sa sex marriage, hindi pa tayo pabor sa mga students na nagdidress sila kung ano yung gusto nilang gawin. Pero, pagdaan ng panahon, pwedeng ipabago yun. So, sa curriculum, ganun din. May mga beliefs, halimbawa dito, hindi ito pwedeng ituro sa bata. Kasi sabihin natin now to or censored. Pero pagdaan ng panahon, yung non-censored curriculum ngayon, pwede na siyang mabago. Okay? So, pwede na siyang ituro sa mga students. Next. Now, let us move to the first idea, innovation ideas in the curriculum. And the first one is the standards-based curriculum. Can you please read, Miss? Yes, Miss Andan.
Standards-based curriculum. Designed based on content standards as explicated by experts in the field. Include general statements of knowledge, skills, and attitudes that students should learn and master as a result of school.
So basically, in terms of standards-based curriculum, ito yung mga kailangang ituro sa bata at kung ano ba talaga yung kailangang matutunan ng bata. skills and disposition. Katulad na lang to sa tatlong gawin natin na cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. So, dito sa curriculum, meron tayong tinatawag na tatlong aspects. The first one is the knowledge or content subject. So, katulad na sabi ko sa kanina, pagdating sa knowledge or content, ito yung kailangan na matutunan ng bata. Yung skills standards naman, thinking and practice skills and strategies that students should acquire. And the third one is the disposition, yung mga attitudes and values that should be developed and nurtured in the students. Clear po? Yes. Curriculum standards are different from competencies. So kasi kapag curriculum standard, mas broad siya. While competencies, nag-focus lang siya sa isang specific discipline or subject. Naintindihan po? Curriculum standards provide more creativity and freedom for educators to explore various learning opportunities and better forms of assessing students' achievements. Tapos, meron pa tayong benefits of using curriculum standard to education. So, ito yung sa benefits of using or innovating the curriculum in terms of standards-based curriculum. Can you please read Mr. Di Castro?
Benefits of using curriculum standards for education ensure that the students learn what they need to know for high-level functioning in the 21st century, ensure educational quality across both districts and educational institutions. Provide educators with guideposts to mark the way to provide students with meaningful outcomes for learning. Provide a curriculum template within which teachers and candidates are able to focus on instructional delivery techniques.
Thank you so much. So the first one, ensure that students learn what they need to know for high-level functioning in the 21st century. Katulad ng sinasabi ko kanina, nagbabago ang mundo paulit-ulit. So kung hindi ka sasabay, yung mga students mapag-iiwanan na pagdating sa field or sa mismong work na nila, hindi sila makakasabay kasi yung tinuro sa kanila masyado nang luma. Okay, so dapat yung tinuturo sa mga students, yung mas mag-i-enhance sa kanila and at the same time, mas nakakasabay sila sa pagbabago ng mundo. Second is to ensure educational quality across school districts and educational institutions. Kasi nga, minsan, kung ano yung pinakasikat na school, doon lang yung quality education na meron. Do you agree with me? Kasi pagdating sa akin, nanggaling ako sa Marami School. And then, masasabi ko na yung quality ng education is hindi pare-parehas. Okay? So, nanggaling ako sa probinsya. Since probinsya, yung quality ng education, wala talaga. Nanggaling ako ng Quezon City sa Manila, yung quality ng education, super taas ng kanilang standard. Okay? So, dapat, yung kailangan na quality ng education na pinoprovide ng school, kahit pa nasa district or kahit pa iba-ibang school district yan, dapat pare-parehas sila na pinoprovide ng quality ng education sa students. Para naman, pagdating na nagkakakalo-kalo yung mga students from different school, hindi sila mag-iiwanan kasi may mga students na sanay na gano'n. Pero yung third, provide educators with guideposts to mark the way to provide students with meaningful outcomes. Pero minsan, kahit may mga guideposts na yung mga teachers natin, meron kasi di ba nga, iba-iba yung way of teaching ng mga teachers. Kahit na may mga guideposts na sila, hindi pa rin siya nasusunod. So, dahil nga may iba-ibang teaching styles, iba-iba rin yung students, possible na itong mga guideposts na ito, hindi rin mag-meet. And the fourth one is to provide a curriculum template within teachers, which teachers and candidates are able to focus on structural delivery techniques at work. And the second innovation idea is the multicultural curriculum. It aims to promote cultural literacy and cultural understanding. School use different strategies and approaches to develop cultural literacy and promote cultural understanding. Although, sa school natin, di ba may mga activities tayong isolis ng mga para magkaroon tayo ng ma-promote yung cultural diversity sa ating school. And so, di ba natatandaan nyo, meron tayong United Nations, meron tayong mga gusto ng wika, yung mga activities na yun, nagpo-promote siya ng cultural diversity. But, those activities are not enough. So, kailangan natin ng mismong curriculum na nag-help para ang bawat isa sa atin is mas ma-understand natin ang culture ng bawat isa. or this region nagpo-focus talaga sa cultural awareness. Katulad na lamang ng subject natin na religion nung tayo ay nasa senior high school. It is an example of a multicultural curriculum wherein it helps everyone understand different religions in a deeper level. According to Banks, Banks 1994 identified 5 dimensions that schools should adopt when trying to implement multicultural curriculum. And these are, number 1 is yung content integration. It deals with the extent to which teachers use examples and content from a variety of cultures and groups to illustrate key concepts such as principles, generalizations, and theories in their subject area or discipline. Sa content integration, usually nakikita natin siya sa subject of circular. Okay? So, kung mapapansin ninyo, kapag nagbibigay si circular ng example, since yung subject natin is related siya sa geography, sa distribution of people, yung mga examples na din is related. Tsaka in a way na mas magiging aware tayo kung bakit ganito yung Korea, kung bakit sila ayaw nila sa mga foreigner, di ba? Nalaman natin. And the next one is the knowledge construction process. Can you please read the knowledge construction process? Yes, Ms. Rodnan.
The knowledge construction process consists of methods, activities, and questions teachers use to help students understand, investigate, and determine how implicit cultural assumptions, frames of reference, perspectives, and biases within a discipline influence the ways in which knowledge is constructed.
Thank you so much. So, dito naman sa the knowledge construction process, nandito na nangyayari yung mga activities. Di ba kasi sa content integration, doon pa lang yung mga sa teacher basic pa lang. Pero dito sa construction process, ito yung nagbibigay sa student sa kanya, personally, like in a way na nagtatanong yung mga teachers and yung mga activities na pinaprovide ng mga teachers or ng mga instructors. Third is, yes?
Prejudice reduction describes the characteristic of students' attitudes and strategies that can be used to help them develop more democratic attitudes and values.
So, sa prejudice reduction, ibig sabihin, pagbabawas ng discrimination towards a different culture backgrounds, di ba? Next, equity pedagogy. So, dito sa equity pedagogy naman, kailangan yung teacher, meron siyang equity pagdating sa mga students kahit na lang galing siya sa different backgrounds or different level ng understanding ng mga bata. Kasi nga, na-observe ko sa mga teacher, kapag makulit yung bata, kapag sobrang likod, hinahayaan niya. Minsan, imbis na mahina, inaya niya, hayaan mo na yan, ganyan. Kaya ang nangyayari, walang equity sa teaching ng teacher. Kumbaga, kung sino yung matatalino, mas nagpo-focus siya sa matatalino. E paano makakasabay yung mga mahihina sa klase? Diba? Next is an empowering school culture and social structure. Do you think that kolehiyo ng lungsod ng Lipa is an empowering school culture and social structure? Do you think that kolehiyo ng lungsod ng Lipa is an empowering school culture and social structure?
Yes.
Yes? Yes, Ms. Palita.
For me po, yes. Kasi ang walay na nalungsod ng Lipa, tumatanggap sila kahit anong age, kahit saan, kahit yung mga kalapit, sino kanila. So, nakaka-experience sila ng equality. And para sila natanggap ng nakatira dito sa Lipa.
Yes, Ms. Kimber.
I think that's not our school culture. Why? Because we all can see that medyo homophobic pa rin yung system. Sa mga gender, kumbaga hindi nila inaalaw yung mga LGBT to express themselves with their haircut, yung mga gusto nilang haircut. Kumbaga nagiging homophobic sila na kung lalaki ka, lalaki din yung babae ka, babae ko. So, kaya hindi pa siya empowering.
Okay, so that is your opinion, and that is also my opinion, that in somehow, kolehiyo ng lungsod ng Lipa is an empowering school culture, but there is still an issue with regard premyo and free nutrition, but then, meron pa rin siyang pagkukulang. And somehow, sana, as the world changes or as the year, sa pagdaang panahon, mabago yun. And sana, mananggap na din na merong iba. Kasi may mga school na din naman na tumatanggap. So, school din naman ng KNN, baka naman. And according to Bennett, in the year 1999, he proposed a multicultural curriculum focusing on 6 goals. Number 1 is to develop multiple historical perspective. Second is to strengthen cultural consciousness. Third is strengthen intercultural competence, common racism, sexism, and other forms of prejudice and discrimination. Fifth is to increase awareness of the state of the planet and global dynamics. And lastly is to build social action skills. So, ito yung mga goals na meron ang multicultural curriculum para magkaroon tayo or for us to develop a multicultural diversity school. Okay, so that is all for my part and thank you so much for listening.